Hello and welcome to December's Mixed Media Menagerie. This month we did a Secret Santa where we exchanged gifts for one another with some different goodies in them and some ephemera and things like that. So here I am unwrapping what the ladies gave me, and we'll also be using some muted kind of wintry colors and just kind of seeing what happens. There are a lot of awesome goodies in these boxes, and I kind of feel like I missed the memo on all of the extra fodder, all of the ephemera, because I kind of just included a couple little things, so I hope the ladies aren't upset. But yeah, these, all of this holiday themed stuff is awesome. Those gold leaf rub-ons are awesome, and these watercolors are super cool. So as always, I am going to start with putting some of these papers down on as my background. So I'll just be gluing them to my papers with some fluid matte medium. So now for the next step, I'm covering the papers with gesso, and then I'll scrape it with my scraper, and I will scribble into it with a Stabilo pencil. Alright, so now I have my muted colors. I've got some gray blue, gray green, ocean green, a Titan buff, and a light pink. And I'm going to also use this Payne's Gray acrylic ink to kind of make everything even more like dark and wintry. Plus, you know me, I like the way that the ink and water kind of flows around the pages and stuff like that. So now I thought I would give this wooden stamp a try. So I'm probably not using it in the way that it is supposed to be used, but I took my brayer and put some paint, some white paint over it, or I guess it's like a Titan Buff paint, to try to add some of the stamped kind of texture into my wet layers. So now I'm going to take this other stamp, which is a Donna Downey stamp actually. I didn't know she had those. But I'm going to try to do the same thing, except my layers aren't really as wet as they were. So I'm not going to transfer as much of the color around as I did with the wooden stamp. So now I'm taking my stencil and I am adding some pops of this light pink around my pages with it. So I was dying to try out these watercolors, so I took a couple of the vintage papers and just kind of swatched the colors on each page. And I think the green one is especially my favorite. The green and the kind of red it's just like dark and moody and I don't know, just perfect. So when I saw the washi tape, I had this idea to do like a Christmas tree out of the washi tape. So kind of like laying down strips and turning it into a little Christmas tree. It didn't quite work out as I had planned, but I still think it was, a nifty idea. So here I decided to try to taper down the washi tape on the sides, because I had wanted it originally to be like the Christmas tree was on the paper and I used like the whole library card, but that turned into kind of a hassle, so I ended up just cutting everything, which is why it didn't turn out the way I had kind of originally planned. But that's okay. So now I'm grabbing these awesome gold foil rub-ons, and I'm just going to kind of put them in random places around the page. So now I want to try to put together a focal point and figure out where I want my focal point to be. I've pretty much decided that I want it on that right hand side. Just trying to figure out what bits to include and things like that. So I ultimately decided to make this Dina Wiggly chipboard shape my main focal point, and because of the gold foil things in the background, botanicals, I thought it would be perfect to paint it gold and just like tie everything together. And I love this paper tape that I think it was Nicole included in the in her goodie box. I had been looking for it for a while, or like a while back, and the only stuff I found was like the already sticky stuff, which I was a little disappointed in. So this is the stuff that you actually like wet to make it sticky, which is pretty cool. And the wrapping that I put on everybody's gifts for the little exchange had this stamped on it, so I thought I would use it as part of my little layered collage for my focal point. So then I remembered that this baking twine was here, and I thought about the Dina Wakley Book of Fragments class that I have recently taken, and thought it would be a good idea to try to implement it somewhere, maybe wrap the collage in some way. So I figured out how I wanted it, and I think it adds like a cool fiber touch, and also, you know, some more of that like Christmassy vibe. I love this little Santa and stocking um, these two little pieces over here, so I wanted to make another little collage piece to put up onto the left page to kind of bring everything together a little bit more. And I ended up using the paper tape the way it was supposed to be used, as like an adhesive, and then making a little flippy thing from it. So I felt like this Remember This sentiment kind of went with the whole holiday theme, because it's something that, you know, the holidays kind of stick out in our memories. It's something that is a really strong kind of thing, whether we're young or old. We remember, you know, those traditions and those things that we did. And then, you know, also as kind of a reminder to those of us, especially with kids or, you know, family, close family, like to remember these times and to remember, you know, the feelings and the happiness and the gathering together, because it's important. Like sometimes we can get caught up in this whole like holiday season, gotta run here, gotta do this, gotta do that, and we sometimes need a reminder to slow down and just like remember to be together and to enjoy, you know, what's happening now. So I thought that this left side here looked a little empty and dark, so I thought I would add some journaling to it to, you know, also signify, you know, the whole remembering and journaling maybe about the season and things like that. It then kind of made it a little too messy and too busy, and I wasn't really a huge fan of, you know, like I think a little bit of writing would have been better. I think I got a little overzealous with my writing, so I'm trying to kind of like smush it down a little bit so it's not maybe so bright, but then I am also going to go over it with some of the watercolor to, well, I'm going to splatter some of the watercolor, and then eventually I'll go over the writing with the darker blue, I believe, to try to tone down the white writing. Ooh, but before I do that, I remembered that this thing can flip. It's a flippy thing. So I decided to hide my Christmas tree under there. You know, I still don't totally love the Christmas tree, but I added the ink around the edges and kind of across the top to kind of give it a more distressed look. And I'm hiding it. So it's like a fun little surprise that, you know, maybe you're not sure if you actually like. But then I added, from my Dina Wakley collage tissue, the word peace to go with the Christmas theme. So after kind of toning down that white writing with the watercolor, I was a lot happier with how it was. Still not, I'm never 100%, but I like it a lot better than I did. So I hope that you enjoyed the Christmas theme and the whole process, and I hope that you'll create along with us, and I can't wait to see